I remember my mother telling me about how frustrated she was when I was like 4 years old or so, and she tried to help me tie my shoes, and I said, I can do it myself because Captain Kangaroo taught me how. And she tells me later on, she goes, all I wanted to do was help. Hmm. Hi, my name is Naomi, and welcome to Journey of a Flying Pig. And today we're going to talk about, is it okay to ask for help? Heavy subject, isn't it? Because asking for help is really tied with our own opinions of our abilities and our self esteem, our independence. So much is tied up around that, isn't it? Okay, now, ironically, this is also something that I talk about to my clients a lot about being able to ask for help when you need it. And yeah, this is one of those times when I have to take my own medicine. Okay, so I have always been independent. I have always tried to do things myself. I will admit, though, as I've gotten older, doing things myself has not become as easy as it used to be. I'll admit, it's gotten a lot harder. And especially since I hurt my back Thanksgiving on my train trip. Okay, so ironically, my independence helped me and yet was also not a barrier, but an influence in how I recuperated from open heart surgery. So, 2 years ago, August, um, I had open heart surgery. I keep saying it because I can't believe that it happened. And for me, now, first of all, the open heart surgery was not a result of a heart attack. It was a result of my complaining about not having the energy and having like a hard time climbing stairs and stuff, doing a stress test, doing a cardiac catheterization, which was quite an interesting experience. And then the doctor coming to me and telling me that I was going to have surgery. And I'm like, okay, when? And how long before I can get back to work? Anyway, and so it was very planned. And because it was very planned, that meant that I could go ahead and prepare for it. And that's what I did. I had a freezer full of um, frozen meals that I made from leftovers. And so during the recuperation period after my surgery, I did it pretty much on my own. I had somebody come by for the first 2 weeks to dump the litter boxes for scoop the poop for me because I wasn't supposed to bend over, and trust me, after you've had your ribs cracked open, you don't really want to bend over in the beginning until you know, recuperate a little bit. Um, but pretty much I took care of myself. Um, Anyway, and so I didn't ask for help. I did hire somebody to, like I said, help me out in the, taking care of my cats. Um, and so even with that as an example, I didn't need help. I hired somebody to do this thing. Okay, I will admit that last year Thanksgiving, after a 7-hour train ride to visit my sister, when I got off that train, I had exacerbated an issue with my back that I didn't know I had. And that was the catalyst that really made me have to step back and ask for help more than I am accustomed to. And I have really been thinking a lot about what does asking for help mean? Now, when I talk to my clients about asking for help, one of the things that I say is this. Okay, so remember how good you feel when you are giving help to somebody else. You've got that good feel, right? And so if you ask other people for help, then you're giving them the opportunity for the same good feel. And that makes sense. Okay. But what does that do to your own self esteem? Okay. And I've really been thinking about that a lot. Um, and um, there are so many different ideas that I have. One of them is, first of all, have you heard about the spoon theory? I never heard about that till I came up to PA and one of my clients explained it to me. Okay, the spoon theory is that you only have so many spoons. And these spoons, you have to allocate them out throughout the day. When you run out of spoons, that's it. You can't borrow from tomorrow's spoon. You can't save the spoon from yesterday. What you got is what you got. And so recognizing that you only have so many spoons to deal with in a day, then you learn how to allocate them to how am I going to use my spoons? And if I have 15 things I want to do, I only have 14 spoons, then that other thing that I want to do, how am I going to get it done when I'm out of spoons? And one of the things is by having somebody else assist you. Hmm. If I look at it not as somebody's helping me, which has such a bad connotation, but somebody is my assistant. Ooh, I like that theory. So, because it's okay to have an assistant, and it feels demeaning if you have a helper. So, if you look at it from a different perspective, which is something else that I truly believe in, by reframing something, you can um, you can decide whether something is good or not good for you by the way that you look at it, your perspective. Okay. Hmm. All right, I'm going to have to hold on to the assistant idea. I really like that. Okay, but the thing is, recognizing that you only have so much in you and being realistic that I only have 14 spoons and I have to decide how I want to spend my 14 spoons, knowing that I can't save one for tomorrow and I can't use one from yesterday, and allocating them out, um, you know, and recognizing that you can't do everything. Ooh, for somebody who has a tendency to say things like, I'm not going to buy that item because I can make it myself. Yeah, that's kind of hard, isn't it? However, recognizing that um you only have so much energy, or I don't want to say so much ability, because once again, if you talk about lack of ability, that deals with your self-esteem, and that's really important because I don't know about you, but I want to feel good about myself. And so if I recognize that if I want to accomplish all of these things, then I need to be able to find a way to use what I have, and then take the assistance of others, and therefore asking for help, aka assistance, is not demeaning to yourself. Hmm. What do you think of this concept? Because I'm actually like I'm I'm recording this as I'm thinking it and saying it. By the way, welcome to what a typical therapy session with me is like. In is that a lot of times I open my mouth and I come up with I talk about the thing as it comes to my mind. And so my client and I kind of like explore it together. It works for me. Anyway, so okay. The idea is, you know, is it okay to ask for assistance? Yes, it is. It's not saying that you're any less than, you're any less, you are like less capable or less you're well, you're not as young as you used to be, Naomi. Recognize that. And recognize that my spoons don't hold as much as they used to because I change. And my priorities have changed also. That's another thing that I have really recognized is that what is important to me has changed. And so if I want to accomplish the things that are important to me, then I utilize the assets that I have. And having somebody assist me, help, is utilizing those assets. Hmm. Why am I thinking about this? Because um, one of the things that I've really had a hard time with um, the since my back issues, which thank you, higher power, God, whoever's out there, I am feeling better, and it's has been what, 9 months. Um, I'm thankfully starting to feel better, starting to feel more alive, starting to feel like my spoons are they hold a little bit more than they had been for the last few months. Um, and so, but oh, as I was saying, keeping up with the house, keeping up with the yard by myself has been really hard. And I will acknowledge that all the wonderful rain we've been having has not been good for the forest, aka my backyard. I don't even remember how I was saying it. Well, the rain has really made my backyard into a wild forest. And the last weekend, I hired somebody to come and help me find my backyard. We still have the garden to do, but I look out there and I can't tell you how good I feel looking out the looking out my window. Sorry, my nose itches. Looking out my window and seeing yard instead of forest. And knowing that even though I didn't physically do it myself, what I did do was I found somebody to assist me. And I gave them employment and they had the pleasure of assisting me. We're not going to use help. We don't like that word. We like assist. Assisting me in reclaiming my backyard. And I actually have been walking around with a little bit more pep in my step because I feel like progress has been made. So it's okay to ask for help because the benefits, well, okay, the benefit is that you accomplish the thing you want to accomplish with your limited spoons. Okay, we all have a limit on our spoons. And I'm helping somebody else. I'm giving them a job if I'm hiring them, or I'm giving them the pleasure from them doing work that fulfills them, okay, in one way or another. I know that I have a friend who loves to come over and do stuff with me. She's my body double. And that brings her a lot of pleasure. Um, and so I'm facilitating her joy. I did not realize that I was going to be able to use this cup like that. Okay, anyway, so is it okay? Am I a lesser person because I'm not doing it myself? No. I'm actually being kind of smart in recognizing that I do only have so many spoons to give and using them wisely. And if I have, and I'm using my assets. I'm using, like, I was able to financially afford the landscaper to come and do the work in the yard. And they it was a husband wife pair. They did a lot better job than I would have done on my own, even in my younger days, because I don't really like yard work, I'll admit it. Okay. And yeah. So the question is it okay to ask for help? And the answer is, why the hell not? Okay. Well, so if you like what I say, then hit the like button. If you want to have more conversations like this, subscribe. If you have any feedback to give me, like the idea of saying assistance instead of help, please give me comments. And I always try to end with this. Above all else, be kind to others and especially to yourself. And if that means asking others for assistance and using your assets that way, then knock yourself out. See you next time.